He come into the pits and went all the way to the end. So Superbike line up, we're waiting for the red lights to come on. It comes on 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There's a gap between 2 and 5 seconds and it will go out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get ready to rumble, and there it is, and Sloane Frost off the line there. The touch, Tony Rees moves over and touches the, I think that was John Ross there. Bit of an appropriate touching. The lead came out there. They must have been watching too much of MotoGP this season, and never mind, they all seem to be safely round turn 1. And is that Scotty Moyer out the front? Scotty Moyer led the race yesterday for quite some time and then slipped all the way back to about 5th. But look at the break he's got already. Look at the break. Or was that Andrew Stroud come out of pit lane? But I have no idea. He might have got a jump start out of pit lane, but certainly drama for Andrew Stroud. Why he would go straight through the pits and then straight back out? He's been around forever, we know that, but there it is, the number 7 machine, followed by Sloane Frost. It is Tony Rees, and that's Alistair Hugenbosom there, and John Ross tucked him behind Dylan Telford, I think, in the first of the Super Stock 1000s out there. Did we? Yeah, Andrew Stroud's out there in 3rd to last spot, so he would have waited. He would have got the green light once they were clear of turn 1. It's quite a safety issue. You don't want to be letting them go when the bikes are all going in case there's drama. So Andrew Stroud, we saw him weave through the field from about 5th place to take a win yesterday. But right now, Scotty Moyer on a superbike opening lap has about 80 metres. Sloane Frost has got to keep a level head. He's rode so well this season. I think from memory, the only incident he's had was a practice crash down at Timaru. They looked at the data logging, he bottomed out the suspension and just solved the suspension issue and that. So what a dream season for the man that won the Suzuki Series as well. Up until this season, I think Sloane had only won about 3 Superbikes. When I say only, it's 3 more than I've ever won and 3 more than he'll be likely to win. But certainly Sloane, what a dream season for him. It's not over yet until the checkered flag drops in this race for him, and he's right there in 2nd place. Tony Rees is climbing up. There it is, Suzuki, followed by Suzuki, 2 Hondas, another Suzuki, and the Aprilia, the first of the Super Stock 1000. In behind him is Jake Lewis. Didn't catch who the next one was. And there is the man, Toby Summers, on the Summers Plumbers ZX10. He dives up on the inside. He's on the Superstar bike, but he dives up on the inside and peels off another place. Neil Ritchie, this is action.
Oh, what a great race, and good to get him behind him. Come on, folks, you're all a little bit quiet here today. Motorcycle racing, you own it, you support it. Let's get out and see the best, as we've got him here in action at the moment. Protector Insurance Specialist Motorcycle Cover. Make sure when you're checking your motorcycle insurance that you look for this specialist brand. Protector Insurance, no, they don't do your house and contents and your cell phone. They are specialists at motorcycle insurance. Packages for fire, theft and transport. Always looking out for transport. Have you ever been caught out before? I've heard the stories of motorcycle cover that has not included transport because the bike is neither in its garage nor on the road. So make sure you get the right coverage. So if you're transporting your bike to meetings, then check out Protector Insurance. It has it covered for that reason. So worthwhile checking out Protector Insurance. Here we go. Looking out for our bike battle. Great to watch in the front as we see the margin closing down by Sloane Frost. But it is indeed the number 7 of Taupo Hero, Scott Moyer, on the Penny Holmes Suzuki New Zealand Pro Moto Pirelli, RST, AGV, EBC, Motor X Oils, Moto TT, CD Vanderberg Builders, Charlie Goodonia with K-Tech Suspension, Sabaki Chain. Scott Moyer out in front, go the Taupo man. Alongside with Sloane Frost, and check out Tony Rees, of course, new record holder for Pyro in the Battle of the Streets. Just 2 weeks ago in Pyro in the Hauraki Plains capital. So great work out there by Tony, but now it's converting that into a great result on the track. And looking out for the other Honda in there, we shouldn't ignore Al. Nice to see Alistair Hugenbosom, folks. He too on the Honda Triple R Racing Superbike, courtesy of Motul Alpine Star, Bazaz, JLD, Bell, along with Arcade Chain, Clyde Barrington Construction. So there it is, Alistair Hugenbosom, and a good 4th place. But I'll tell you what, keep your eyes on Tony Rees, the number 11. Look at that right on Chopper's tail there at the moment. Yes, we call him Chopper, folks. That was the nickname. First commentator, that young man 25 years ago when he was in junior motocross, formerly out of Northland, travelled around the country, and now a successful businessman in Wellington. But I tell you what, once a champion, always a champion. He showed great signs of this 25 years ago when we saw him as a kid. Now the potential to turn this into his first ever road race championship. So Chopper is still making and go the great Sloane Frost. But it is indeed the update out in front for the 7 of Scott Moyer. But look out for the 11 of Pogatani Hero. Tony Rees on the Honda Rider Insurance, Tony Rees Motorcycle, Spectro, DID, HOC Bearing. with the Vesra, Sign Edge 5 Gloves, along with the Pirelli Race Supplies City and Dynoworks. Great to see. So there it is. We've got them all amongst them as we see the 2 Suzukis and the 2 Hondas going for the battle as we look for Pepsi Max and the update. Slight blind spot there. Good crowd going over the corner. And there's the trio. I tell you what, they're having that effect because when you're all over each other like that, at times those guys, you can slow each other down. And look at the run from Al Hoogie. I think he's looking very sharp through there as we go to watch that update. And only just at the moment, you get the idea that Sloan wants to go past Scott out in front. And maybe that's where Tony's looking to hone in on him. And a very good top 4. I tell you what, we want to look out for a 5th spot in here as well. Should be worth a mention now, Protector Insurance. And remembering, check your programs, folks, the super stock class, the stock bikes, further back in there as well. Some nice battles going on back behind the others. So looking out for the super stock as we go to hopefully the Dylan Telford and Toby Summers battle. Here it goes, the 22 for Toby. So Toby Summers out there on the Barnes Jenkins Insurance, Pirelli R&R Power Sport, Beta Tools, Mad Love Media, Super Finishing Limited, Kawasaki ZX-10R. So loving that new standard bike. That's what stock is all about. Super stock, the standard bike. So Toby, the front runner in there as well. But look at that for the freight train Spider, right there with all 4 of them. Anybody to win it?
Well, anybody to win it. And right now, Tony Rees in 3rd spot is the fastest man on the track. Tony Rees, what a legend, been around, was the last ever race of the official National 6 Hours, race winner of the 6 Hours many, many years ago. A man that won all 3 races, Superbike races at Formula 1, I should say, at the Cemetery Circuit this year, and just dominates some of the racing he's getting out, and is now the fastest on the man on the track at 48 years old, and he's on absolute fire. Andrew Stroud is coming through the pack as well. Andrew Stroud starting off the back of the track. Now, Moya had an interesting race as they got out and led. And at one stage he went a little bit wide and smashed his head on his master's visor onto his windscreen and that unsettled him. He also missed a gear, so I was saying that maybe he's getting a little bit tired, maybe he's a little bit unfit. But when I caught up with him, no, that was the situation. So Moya has already won a superbike race down at Invercargill this year. Also led the other one for almost all of the race until the last lap when the old dog Andrew Stroud come through and pipped him. But Moya, he was a lap record holder at Taupo a couple of years ago in the superbike class. He's also won, I think, at Timaru, so he's got the goods. They've all got the goods out the front. This Fujitsu TSS Red Baron sponsored GSXR1000 has had almost a dream season this year with winning the Suzuki Series and right up there and leading the New Zealand Superbike Championships. In 3rd place, Tony Rees has had some interesting times this year. Had 2 crashes on Friday. They put it down to a tyre problem. Because the tyre was worn incorrectly on one side, and Tony Rees had a couple of crashes there. And of course now we've got Alistair Hugenboom finally getting some good results on the thing. There it is, Sloane Frost on the inside in turn 1. If he wins this race, he may have an unassailable raid in the New Zealand Superbike Championship. Well deserved. A lonely ride for Toby Summers there on the ZX-10. Absolutely big shout out for Dylan Telford on the Aprilia RS4. Dylan lost part of his finger down at the Sound of Thunder, I think, last weekend. Came up here, wasn't too sure whether he can ride. And, mate, he's up there in about 6th place on a super stock bike. We're not talking a super bike here, we're talking a super stock bike. So Dylan Telford's just getting faster and faster. I can see in a few years' time that man might be holding this New Zealand Superbike Championship. But Sloane Frost coming out of the dipper has got about 8 bikes over and above Scotty Moyer. Then it is Tony Rees, followed by Alistair Hugenboom. We drop off a little bit to John Ross, and it is Dylan Telford. And that is Jake Lewis, and on behind him is the Moggy supported M1 Motorsport BMW S1000 with James Hugenboom, and moving up through the field during the season, just getting used to it, and the only man on Bridgestones. They decided to go for Bridgestones this year, and this bike here is capable of winning a superbike race as well, and I'm sure that James can improve because he's had many, many wins on the 600 class over the season. So he's got the goods, slowly catchy monkey, and really enjoying himself with the racing. And despite the team at M1 Motorsport not getting the results they had so far as they had in the last few years, I had a beer with them last night and they fed me on that, and they just seem to be happier this year and just enjoying developing a new rider. Well, when I say a new rider to Superbikes in James Hugenboom. Out of the Pepsi Max corner, it is still Frost out in the lead. Scotty Moy is settled in there, maybe 6 bike legs. Tony Rees is under threat by Alistair Hugenboom as well. A lonely ride for Johnny Ross, the former 600cc champion in place, and a battle going on. Hello, where's Dylan Telford? Dylan Telford must have made a mistake because two bikes he got in front of him, Andrew Stroud and Jake Lewis. So Dylan Telford may have had a bit of a run wide on the corner. There is Toby Summers in there in a bit of a lonely spot. Big shout out too to number 19 towards the tail end of the field. That's Tony Reese's son, Mitchell. David's riding with the 600 class, but Mitchell is there on the spare bike. The white flag is out. This is the final lap of the first race of the day, and this could be the title going to Sloane Frost on the TSS Red Baron Fujitsu-sponsored GSXR 1000. We'll have to get our calculator out, but Andrew Stroud currently sits in second place in the championship, but Andrew Stroud is sixth on the track. Okay, there's 48 points between it, 50 points up for the next two races, but I'm pretty sure if Sloane wins this race, he will win the New Zealand Superbike Championship. Out of the Pepsi Max corner for the last time. They're coming across the lap of there. Neil Ritchie, a change of position.
Oh, what a great race, and yes indeed, here it is. That's the update we've got as well, and look at that, I think might have been the change as well. Looking at the change for the Honda boys. Just how good is that coming through there? 43 and Alistair Hugenbusen. Did he get the advantage on the inside? So keen to watch out as well, and here we go, looking out to... Something happened to Dylan, something's happened to Dylan Telford, and a problem for Dylan there at the moment. So slowed right up there, so Dylan Telford, and here we are. And now to the moment, there they are, first, second, third, fourth, and there's the run on the checkered flag, and there's the title for Sloane Frost. Well, only provisional, absolutely provisional. We'll wait for the computer to do a better job than our retarded brain cells, but I'll tell you what, that is absolutely superb and well done. We think that's going to be enough, more than a 50-point advantage with two races to go, 25 points up for grabs in each of those two races, and we can come and claim the glory, so let's hope that is, and I think you're going to see the idea behind it with the team down here. They'll have kept a better idea of the points than we will have. Protector Insurance, Superbike and Superstock Racing, and well done. And unfortunately, Dylan Telford had that Superstock lead, and here he is cruising back in. He will not make the finish line, So there it is, Dylan Telford, and the problem for Dylan, he looks so good, and rightfully called by Spider to say